knew it. Another RHOA Media production.
Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
Hey, guys. On today's episode, we are back to covering Atlanta. So we took a week off from covering it just because the last episode wasn't giving. So we did not cover it, but we are back. I mean, I thought this was a pretty good episode. We're going to talk about the ratings, things that are happening behind the scenes after the episode, what one housewife is saying after getting so much backlash. But before we do that, Chantel, I think we did a soft launch to The Sex of Your Child. We already talked about it on Patreon like weeks ago, or maybe a month.
Like I think like even maybe even more 6 weeks ago. So I feel like I was like, oh, people know, but then we never really said it on this on the public platform. So that's why join our Patreon if you're on there, because you would have known for now. But yeah, yesterday I forgot and didn't realize that Roxanne, you posted a picture on our podcast page and it was like my niece, and everyone was like, oh my God, you're having a girl. So yes, I'm having a girl.
Yay.
Which a lot of you guys knew, I think, or like was guessing, because you guys kept saying I was spicy, like, a few months ago. So having a girl.
Yeah, I feel like most people said you were having a girl.
I know, except you.
I know. I really just I don't know. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, so you're like, watch her have a boy. Not that having a boy first would be like, whatever. It's just me selfishly thinking like, oh, Al's going to have a friend. They're only going to be a year and a half apart. And so that's nice. You know what's funny, Chantal? I just I've had a crazy weekend. But on our Patreon, someone had commented on, because we do 2 episodes on Patreon, and someone had commented and was like, Roxanne, I thought you were about to announce you're having a 5th child. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? I don't even
know. Like, I'm not joking. If this girl ever came to me, even in the next year or 2, I would disown her. I've told you guys this because it's a lot. Like this past weekend, her husband's out of town and we took them all to the fair, and we had 4 adults on 7 kids. It was my sister's kids too. You guys, so imagine that, 4 adults on 7 kids. We couldn't handle it. 5 adults, I think. We had 5 adults on 7 kids. We couldn't handle it. We couldn't do it.
I know, it was so much. And I don't take my kids out publicly unless I know that there's multiple parents that are going to be there. I was like to Chantal, is your husband coming? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, but my sister's husband's coming. And I was like, Chantal's sister and husband are the type, not Chantal's sister, but her husband's very just which a lot of people are a lot of men are like this. They are just looking at their children, which that's what you would expect. They're not looking at anyone. So I was like, where's I wanted Chantal's husband to come, but just because first off, now we live in a world where it's kind of scary going to these things because God knows what will happen, God forbid a million times, but you have to think about that. It's so twisted that you have to think that way, but you do. And Chantal was like, it's fine because my older sister Bianca's going to be there. And she was also very helpful. And then Chantal's the best because we were there and you guys, fairs, the way they rip you off is actually insane.
Yeah.
Actually insane. I went through, it was $65 for 50 tickets. You guys, that was literally 2 rides for my kids. And I was just like, oh, that's it? Oh my gosh. But after Chantal was like, I don't think we should eat here. Let's just go back to my house where it's more relaxing after. And she was like, I have hot dogs. I'll make the kids hot dogs. So shout out to Chantal because that killed time. And Chantal was so overwhelmed with my kids at her house.
No, I wasn't that overwhelmed. Just it's just more, there's a lot of them. So there's this one crawling, this one wants this. And they're demanding.
Oh my gosh. But my youngest is just there. She's so good.
She's the best.
Yeah, she's a really good kid. So yeah, we did that. And shout out to Chantal because she helped. And the fair was fun. I mean, my kids had so much fun. And my oldest is going through that stage of saying I'm bored every 2 seconds, which I'm figure it out. Go
she says everything's boring. She'll be like, this food is boring. The outside is boring. I'm like, then what do you want to do?
Yeah, she's I don't know. I swear in front of you guys specifically, I don't know why she acts like that. And it could be because you and I talk on the phone and all the time. And I don't know if it's her comfort because she does not talk like that with my in-laws, with her cousins, but I don't know, she's with her cousins and in-laws. We were at your house, there was nothing, but I'm figure it out, go play with the grass. Would you know what we did when we were your age? We just, ran around and figured out what to do and play with. You have a nice backyard. And I was like, you have a brother and sister, go play with them. And so she was like drawing like the whole time.
And I have like a soccer thing. I have hacky sack. I have a couple things you can do. And she's like, no.
I swear I can't. No, she's honestly like really the best, but I don't know, man. That day I was like, stop saying everything is boring. Chanel was like, take that word out of your vocabulary. And she's like, why? I'm like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, but that was how our weekend went. We had a communion party also I did not get home till 12 a.m. last night.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy night. I felt hungover today and I didn't even drink. So that's how I felt.
I know I couldn't drink because Jacob wasn't there, but it was like a great fun time. I was going to take Jack and thank God I didn't because it was just like so late. We usually don't have parties that late. I don't know what the hell this was. But it was a great time. Like we were all together. So that was the nice thing. So yeah, I saw a lot of Chantel this weekend. So
yeah,
I know you miss me.
No.
Well, let's get into Atlanta overall. What did you think of this episode?
Yeah, I had a great time watching it. I love, when they're on sometimes trips are boring because it's like, it feels like they're doing the same thing. But I feel like this group of ladies have so much to talk about and like so much like little side issues that I was ready to see it unfold.
So I think we had mentioned this on Patreon too, but with Atlanta's last week episode, which I didn't even finish it, to be quite honest, because I was like, this is so boring. I can't watch it. And it was a little over 400,000 viewers, which is kind of crazy because it was Phaedra's debut and it performed really poorly. But today's episode, like I was bought in the entire time and I thought it was a really good episode. And it was probably because, yeah, they were on a trip and they were all together.
Yeah, and there was drama. There's still like again unresolved things that we're wanting to see like come to a head or like figure it out and see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, Porsha to me is so messy this season. I mean, so it's we start with her meeting with Drew, and Drew is like, I wish you would have met with me a long time ago to squash this because Dennis and I aren't dating. And I kind of think Drew is looking at Porsha like, and Porsha, it, and probably looking at her like this B is probably just doing this for a storyline or whatever to deflect. And she did clock her later on. But the only reason petty Porsha is now willing to meet with Drew is because she met with Ralph despite what Drew was going through. So now she's willing to squash it. Before she was like making it a thing. And I can understand her thinking behind it. I can understand like why it's messy, why she feels the way she does, but it's like, give that same energy to your baby daddy. Give him that same energy. You're not giving him that energy. You're giving him the past. He's the one who's like wanting to be on camera, which it sounds like Portia's like embarrassed by it, where she's like, you come across thirsty. And he does by doing that. And then he like lies to her. And we find out that clearly if he's lying to her about going on camera, like he's lying to her about a lot of things that are being said, or she's lying about what is said to her.
You know what? It's funny because he's the one that told her that, that Drew's dating this other person. So it's like, okay, you for sure knew that she was never dating him, Dennis, in the first place. But I think what she was the most annoyed about, but it came off wrong, was this whole filming thing. Like, I feel like she could have just said, like, why are we giving him attention? But she can't like talk so poorly about him because he'll see. But she really can't control Dennis doing it, but she can try to control the other ladies and say, don't film with him.
See, I find that to be the opposite. You can't control what the other ladies do because there's no loyalty to you. You don't have a child with each other. But
he's not going to care. Why do you think he's going to care and listen to her? Like they're divorced.
He's going to put his kid first, and he's going to say, I don't want to know, right? But it's like, I don't want to stress my child out. I don't want to stress the mother of my child out for no reason. It's not worth it to me at all. Like, we share a child together, our co-parenting, we do very well with each other. Why would I do that to her? So that's what he should do. But like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like we need to take a look at who we're having kids with. And,
exactly.
But
Drew, this meeting to me, Drew was being very, I did not like her energy. Like I felt like even though Porsha always comes in kind of like the same, where it's like, it's always on her time. And like, I think that's why Drew was annoyed. It's like, oh, we're talking about this now, finally. But like Drew's energy was so off. It's like, how can you try to resolve things with someone like that?
Understanding that at this point, she knows Porsha met up with Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph is a horrible human. You guys know I am so anti-Ralph. I see through him. He's a horrible, horrible type of man. And not only did they meet up with Ralph, they went and met up with Ralph and allowed Ralph to talk about her, to like throw her under the bus, like talk about their marriage, talk about like, where children were kind of involved. Drew is not doing any of that. So she had every single right to go into it and finally be like, I've tried to be the bigger person. I've tried to come and bring you whatever, a wine or be nice. And then what do you go and do? You go and you meet with Ralph, like this man who is genuinely trying to ruin my life. Dennis isn't trying to ruin Porsha's life. Simon, like, yeah, he does some shady like headlines and stuff, but he's not doing what Ralph does. Like Ralph is like trying to torment Porsha, Drew. And at the end of the day, Dennis and Porsha are good. Okay. They're good. So Drew's meeting with them. They're good. Drew and Ralph are not good. And I just feel like Portia's like putting out these dating rumors. Like it's not because Dennis is saying it. She's just putting it out there. And she's so messy because in that conversation, she then brings up that Drew's dating another guy. She's like, yeah, I know you're not dating Dennis because you're dating another guy. And she's like, I'm not dating this guy. And Drew wasn't, you could even tell she wasn't going to say anything about a guy that Portia's rumored to be dating. And like she then does it because Portia's pushing her. And Drew even says to her, like, I'm going through a difficult divorce. I'm not worried about dating. And Portia's like, who cares? People date all the time when they're going through a divorce. And it's like, no, Porsha, you do. And that's a problem. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I think she also knows like what can happen, like the hell that what's his name will give her if he like comes up and finds things. Like he just wants to be petty, like he wants so much control over Drew. So it's like it's like just respecting her narrative and saying like, let me not even bring this up right now.
Yeah, I mean, and Drew clocked her when she was like, your energy isn't for me because you're miserable in your home life and you're projecting that onto me and what I'm going through. And I think that's very, very true. And I think Porsha can handle the truth. And the fact that Porsha says like, or she ends up, what does she do? She ends up like walking out. And here's the thing too, Chantal, remember in a couple episodes ago where Shamia said to Porsha, you said you won't bring this up unless you're getting paid more. So I feel like Porsha isn't giving energy. Like she's not giving us anything this season because she feels like she can just walk away from conversations where it's like, no, I want you to sit down with her. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear why it was okay for you to then meet with Ralph. And the way that she twisted that in her confessional, she was like, yeah, I met with Ralph because I was meeting up with Shamia who coordinated that. Because look how she like throws Shamia under the bus.
I know.
Like, she intentionally had Shamia say, you call Ralph, you meet up, and then I'll show up. And that way I can say, oh, I just showed up. Like you knew.
Or you could have gotten there and been like, you know what? I'm not going to do this because I was a hypocrite and I got mad that she did it with my baby daddy.
Yeah. And to me, it's like Porsha is not willing to give the network, to give the audience anything. And now we kind of know why based on what Shamia said, which is because she thinks she should get paid more and if she has bigger checks. And that's when you die. That's when you die on the Real Housewives Hill, when you start thinking that way. And I know we all love Nene, but Nene was like that too. And she kind of died on the hill. And then they, to them, it doesn't matter how iconic you are. Everyone is replaceable. And when you start acting like that and start acting like you need more money, they don't give a shit about you anymore. So she's giving a lot of energy that she gave in her last season where she would just walk away, show up late, all this stuff. And she's getting backlash for it. And I'm glad that she is.
Hey cousins, let's talk mental health. I think we all know someone, maybe even ourselves, who could have really used therapy but didn't know how to get started. Cost, insurance, time, it all gets in the way. That's why I love what RHOA is doing. RHOA, spelled RULA, is a healthcare provider group that's changing how we access therapy. They've got over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, and they match you based on what you actually need, whether it's a talk therapy, medication support, or both. I haven't personally used RHOA yet. I've seen how powerful therapy can be for myself, and I've seen what it could do for my close friends. One friend told me the hardest part wasn't asking for help, it was finding someone to actually give it. That's the gap RHOA fills. RHOA accepts major insurance, so your session could cost as little as $15, and once you're in, you're not alone. They help you schedule, follow up, and make sure you're moving towards real progress. This isn't some one and done platform. RHOA actually cares. If you've been thinking about therapy but didn't know where to start, this is it. Visit RHOA.com/TRH and take the first step toward feeling better. That's RULA.com/TRH. And when you sign up, make sure to tell them our show sent you. It helps us and helps you. One more time, that's RULA.com/TRH. Affordable, personalized care, because you deserve to feel heard.
Good.
Yeah. I thought it was cute, by the way, when Kelly was going out of town, and you can tell that her girls don't want her to go, because literally that's exactly how it would be in my situation. My kids would be like, wait, what? You're not leaving, and be dying. But
First day of school.
I know that would be so hard for me to miss that, though. I will be honest. And, but you know what, Teresa Giudice one time told me, she's like, go on the trips. Like, your kids are going to be okay. She's like, when my kids were like little, I wouldn't go on trips without them. It wasn't until I was on the Real Housewives that, those girl trips. And she's like, but I do wish, like, she's like, my whole life is my daughter's, but I do wish, like, when I was younger, I did do those type of trips. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. But like, also I haven't had any opportunity to do that either.
Yeah. I think it gets harder, but you have to try to make the opportunity too for yourself if you want it.
No, you're right.
But it is hard when they're really little.
Yeah. It's crazy that the father of Kelly's children wouldn't be able to step up and take his kids to school on the first day. Again, we need to understand who we're having kids with. And I know there are like one-offs where it's like, I cannot believe that guy, but it's like, that's when you start looking at their family life, like how they are with their parents, like how their brothers and sisters are they in committed relationships? Do they have like multiple kids? Like, how are they with the person they share a kid with? I don't know. I feel like, having a kid is a huge deal. Like, we need to make sure we're having the right person. And sometimes it's not, but I mean, come on, this is insane.
I think it's just sad because like you could not be like right for each other, but it's like, why are we taking it on our kids? Like, why are we not being a good parent to your kid? Like, why aren't you wanting to be there for them? Like, that's where it's like so sad, because it's like, at least most people, even though they have like they'll be shitty to their like, ex-spouse, like they'll at least be there for their kids. And like, that's like what you want at the end of the day.
I think of Deion Sanders. He used to be in football, and do you know who I'm talking about?
No, the only Sanders I know is Barry Sanders.
No, Deion Sanders. Wait, is it Deion Sanders? But I think about him, and some you guys will know this story. I don't think Chantel. Yeah, it's Deion Sanders. So he has two kids, Shiloh, and I know Shiloh because I wanted to name my kid that. And then I forgot his other son's name, so forgive me. But anyways, he comes across as literally the best father. Like, he rides for his kids so much. And his wife is like this stunning girl, and they had the messiest divorce ever. And I looked it up, and like she tried to get him arrested and all this shit in front of her kids. And it was just like a very toxic thing, but he always put his kids first, and that didn't keep him away from his children. So I like look at things like that where people hate this woman for what she did to him. And he still like always put his kids first and was always there for his kids. And even like his kids, both of his boys just got drafted into the football. I'm shocked. Chantel, both of his kids just got drafted, and like he was in the same house as them, and you can tell he's so uncomfortable, but he's like putting his kids first. So although he hates his wife, he loves his kids more. And the biggest thing that people do in a breakup is they hate their spouse more than or their partner more than they love their children. And that's
exactly
here. And a man or a daughter needs their father. Like, you are punished. She needs you. Like, Chanel, we are so obsessed with our dads. And we had such like a great, we have only like the best memories of like our dad, except that one birthday, Chantal, I came to your house.
Yeah.
That was a scary memory of your dad. That's the only time. And I like lived with you. You lived with me. But like, I mean, we've seen my dad, be a little like psychotic, but like that was the one time I saw your dad crazy, and it was on Chantel's birthday. I think we've told this story, but
it's just more the fact that like you just have someone that's secure and safe. Like they don't even have to be like our dads worked a lot. So like, it's like, were they always there for us? But like, you knew that you were safe and secure. I think that's the best thing. It's like it's just knowing that you have a space to go to, and they'll be there for you if you need them to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let me turn that off. I'm so scared. know if you heard that. But yeah, it made me sad, man. It really did. Because no one deserves that. So anyways, they go on their trip and they all meet at the airport. Why was Phaedra throwing shade at Angela, saying Angela looks old? Like, I don't think she looks old.
I don't know. I don't know why they're acting this way.
Why are they so mean to her?
I know. I don't get it.
Like, obviously Phaedra or Porsha looped her in and said, I don't probably give a shit about Angela. But I'm like, why are we throwing shade at this woman? I don't understand. I don't get it at all. Let's see how old she is.
She was being messy with someone else too. Was it Britt? I don't know. She was being messy with someone else. Like, she was just being like that though.
How old do you think Angela is?
I would say she's 52.
Okay. She's 43.
Oh.
Wait, she does
look a little older then.
There's no way that she's only 43.
But she looks beautiful.
Wait, no. Like, there's just no, I don't know. Like, because it says that,
I guess it makes sense because she has she has a younger son. So like, I guess she 50s wouldn't be it.
Yeah, she
does look older than 43, but I still think she looks beautiful. It doesn't even matter. It's like, you would never look at her and be like, oh, she looks old. Like, that's like where I don't understand. Like, I would never look at her and be like, oh, she looks old.
Yeah. You know what I think it is with her is she reminds me of Mia, where they're kind of like big boned. And so because of that, like, people might think because they all like make fun of her being big, not obviously weight wise, but like tallness and
She's
stuff.
Tall, yeah. And like, and maybe the way she dresses too. So people, when they see her dressed like a little bit like more younger, and then they see her, they're like, okay, you're old. Like, I don't know, who knows? Maybe that's the reason too.
Yeah, like she looks her age, I guess. At 43 is really young though. I don't know. She looks her age. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that's so messy to point that out. So they get to the island, and I love when the Atlanta ladies pick a room because it's always messy, fun, or sometimes very, very serious. And the pairings are funny. Like, Portia's paired up with Angela, Cynthia's with Drew, and she's like, I don't really give a shit because I'm good with Drew. Britt with Phaedra was weird. Like, that was weird. And
yeah,
I kind of thought, well, maybe they're doing that because Britt and the Kenya thing happened, and Phaedra and Kenya used to like beef quite a bit on Atlanta. I don't know.
But like, who else would they have really put Britt with?
Kelly.
Well, Kelly was part of the show, or part of the, like, she was the one doing it. So she had to be with Shamia, and then Shamia's going to obviously pick Porsha.
Shamia is better than me though, because if I didn't have my luggage, like, I'm annoyed the entire trip.
I know. She was being really good about it. And like, thank God, she said she had packed like two outfits in her carry-on, but like, that really legit can ruin your trip.
Like, I can't. I would be.
Especially these girls, I'm sure they've taken so much time to like get it together too for this trip.
Did she end up finding it?
We didn't see it, but maybe I'm sure later on. She said she told her husband like it's supposed to come the next day.
Oh, okay. Drew is ballsy though, tagging Shamia on a shade post while they're like all at an island together. But I do think that Drew is super fed up.
So I know, but still, also though, like, it's like she's going through a rough time, so I think people can give her grace, but like, her energy is also not the best, like, either. It's like, you could tell she really hasn't tried that much with the ladies. Like, you could tell she's elsewhere, but I mean, I guess she shows up, but sometimes just showing up is not enough.
I also think it's not fair because like, she really is going through, I mean, I don't think that you even comprehend what she's going through with this man because you haven't watched in the past. And like, I don't think any of the ladies are there for her throughout it. So it's not like she has the support. You know how there's people who you want to tell things to, but like, they'll get happy about your downfall. Like, they'll get happy that you're going through this. Like, these are not unfortunately, the show has become a thing where when you're down, they're the last people you want to know.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? And that's what sucks about the show. And that's what they've taken away. And I hope with the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, it sounds like a lot of them know each other. So I hope with that, we see like actual history. Whereas in this is, who are we going to fight with this season? And I think Bravo needs to even do some sort of a job and get everyone together to be like, hey, we need like unity more. We don't want them to focus on one person type of thing. You know, like, that doesn't need to be a forced thing anymore. So I don't know. But they go to dinner. We find out it's Angela's anniversary, and they're all really trying to force that she's having marital issues because she's spending her anniversary on this vacation. But I mean, like, yeah, they don't have a great marriage, but I mean, she did sign up to do the show. So if this was like the scheduled time, she can celebrate an anniversary after. I don't think it's that serious to celebrate it that day.
I took it more as like they were just like like Porsha, like especially with Porsha's comment, she's like just like wrong group, like no one, like it's like they don't care about your 8 years because like all of them are divorced. It's like the wrong person, like wrong crew to be happy for you, but which is like so ugly of them because like you should be happy for her.
Yeah,
You guys all clearly believe in marriage because you guys get married, so it's like you should be happy for her.
but they did say like, why isn't she with him on her anniversary?
Oh, I missed that part, but like who cares? Like you can celebrate a different time.
That's what I'm saying. Well, Porsha's so annoying though, because it leads to the Shamia and Porsha stuff. And they ask Porsha questions about, because Angela was like, listen, we were just responding when it came to like Porsha and Shamia of things that Shamia said. And Shamia's like, okay, but I didn't just talk about Porsha to you guys. You guys asked me these questions. And then they were like, okay, well, Porsha, what, like, do you feel like you were a good friend to Shamia? And Portia's like, nope, like, we're not doing this. Like, me and her already talked, we're good. So we're not doing that. And again, it's not giving, like Porsha.
Yeah, she's really not giving, like you said from the first, like, in the beginning. She wants to make sure she's not going to give anyone more than she needs to.
Right. And it's like, we barely even saw you guys reconcile. You guys obviously had a phone conversation after. So I don't even know. But then it's like, and we want to hear what you said. Like, are you a good friend? Like, let us know. And then Messy Kelly, she then makes Drew feel small after initially she starts it out by saying, Drew, we're not trying to like make you feel small. Like, we're going to find a solution. And she tries to make her feel small because she's like, Drew, you have an issue with everyone but Cynthia. And it's like, why would the newbies ever have an issue with Drew? Because of what Porsha did? Who has an issue with Drew? And then Drew's like, what? Like, who do I have an issue with? And I feel like Porsha is throwing Dennis under the bus. She's like, Dennis told her that Drew is dating someone. But again, like back to this, she brings it up. I don't even think that Dennis even told her that. I think that, how sometimes like people can say things so that you'll end up admitting it. And you don't care if like, who gives a shit what Dennis thinks at the end of the day,
Yeah. And I'm sure like they're in the same town. They're in a small circle. Like I'm sure they hear things all the time. And like, maybe he confirmed it or something because she brought it up again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they're going back and forth.
But the reason why I think Kelly was like, everyone has a problem with you, I think is because, again, she's not trying with the ladies as much as like you would if you're in a good headspace, like, I think that's where they're getting that kind of like notion from her.
I know. I guess I haven't seen like that. And maybe it could be because producers cut it out. I don't know.
Sometimes you're supposed to get lunch with this person and this. It's like she's so busy dealing with like real life stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I know, but that's what I'm assuming because like, why would she say everyone has a problem with you? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but also they're like Portia's cheerleaders, and we've been seeing that from episode 1. So Porsha has a problem, so they do. They're going back and forth, basically saying, and Portia's like, imagine filming with your baby daddy without letting like letting the person know and doing it behind my back. And it's like, she did exactly that, dude. So Porsha did that. So what are we talking about? Like Porsha got upset that Drew filmed with her ex without giving her a heads up. She framed it as like throughout the whole season, a betrayal, saying she should have been informed because of their shared history, whatever. But then Porsha herself films with Ralph without telling Drew, despite their ongoing divorce. And Porsha in all of this demands like respect, like you need to tell me this, like you need to be transparent from Drew, but then she didn't extend the same courtesy. And then it's especially crazy because she knows how emotional, messy their relationship and how like the public is seeing it. And she lived it with Dennis, Simon now, and we're not seeing her talk about anything with Simon. So, I saw a lot of viewers, they're calling it like classic reality TV deflection, that Portia's trying to take control of her narrative or create a storyline, but then it's backfiring because it's so contradictory to what's really happening. So, I mean, if she expects loyalty, if Porsha expects loyalty and communication, she's obviously have to play by those same rules, and it's just not giving that. And she's just been a disappointment because if you think about it, we just still know nothing about her life. Like we still know really nothing about the Simon stuff, and even the Shamia mom stuff, they weren't allowed to talk about that either. So she's been a complete disappointment this entire season.
Yeah, and I think like she's gonna see a big wake up call if she wants to be here next season. I think the producers and stuff will ask for more for sure.
I don't think so because she is doubling down. Tell me if you can hear this. That she's like saying, "I can't wait for the reunion." Hold on, I want to tell me if you can hear this. Good. Oh, nothing.
This particular reunion is literally the complete opposite. This particular reunion, I'm really, really looking forward to. Thoroughly looking forward to this reunion. Probably because there was a lot in this reunion that there's a lot that needs to be talked about in this reunion that happened off camera. And then there's a lot that happened on camera that didn't come out clearly or wasn't fully understood, or you know how producers only have but so much to shoot down to. You know what I'm saying? Like we filmed for hours, but they had to chop it down to fit. How long is the show? 45 minutes to an hour? So you're talking about a luncheon that you see is probably shot about 3 hours or 2 hours, and they're having to take out the goodness or enough of the context in order to come up with a narrative to show you guys. But the rest of it you may not see. Maybe there's someone who was a little quiet that just spoke up, or maybe there's someone talking over somebody and you couldn't hear what the other person said or whatever. There's always this season I feel there was a lot that went under the radar, right? When it comes to group conversation. So I am looking forward to this reunion so that we're all gonna be in the same room. We don't have to worry about Kelly trying to talk over everybody and be the moderator. She seems like she does the best job she can, but we don't need that from her. We have a real host, which is Andy, and Andy is going to be able to move through the conversation and let people speak who need to speak. And my biggest focus will definitely be for each person to be heard. I feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to truth, you got to hear all sides. And I feel like the audience watching this season was confused about a lot, right? I mean, y'all definitely were confused and upset with me, and you're confused as you see, other people and their actions and things like that. And so I just feel like this is the perfect opportunity to bring all the truth to the reunion. This is going to be the most truthful reunion ever. So freaking excited about it. I don't usually bring receipts, but this reunion, they're needed. They're absolutely needed. They don't think nothing nasty. I'm not a low down, nasty type of person when it comes to like trying to bring up this and seedy things. But there's definitely some things that need clarification. Yeah, on a lot of different fronts with a lot of different girls on the show. So I definitely don't plan to come in and attack anybody. I don't come in to expose anybody. Hopefully we leave the reunion and we all agree to disagree, right? Or we leave the reunion and you apologize, or you apologize, and whatever needs to happen, but we can leave the reunion with a respect, right? Because truth is truth. You can't really, enable and change truth. It is what it is.
So what do you think about that?
I mean, like, let's see where her mouth is then. Let's see this reunion, where your truth is. Like, let's hear it, because clearly if we're not seeing it, we want to know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I know.
But I just think you're right. She's just deflecting because like she's getting so much backlash that she's trying to make it seem like, oh, it's the editing, where it's just like, okay, let's see what you really can say and call people out the reunion. Maybe she does have redemption. Maybe she does have a lot to say, and we're the ones in the wrong, and she did get a bad at it. But like, let's see.
Andy doesn't fuck around, you guys, when it comes to editing, like you blaming the editing on stuff. Like he does not mess around with that. So I think for me, what's interesting is like, I'm not trying to expose anyone. I'm not trying to, put anyone down. I'm not trying to do that because like she's afraid that they're going to expose her. And I think that's why she's saying that's how I'm going to go into the reunion, because they're going to like literally light her up and she's going to be held accountable. So I think it was interesting to hear her say all that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah,
they should be filming it soon too. Like we're pretty much like there's probably like 5 episodes left.
I feel like this has been a long season.
But we're only on episode 13. I just don't think it's going to be like one of those 20 episode seasons because we're already on. Usually when they have that big trip, they come back and they do like one more event and then they're done.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But let us know what you guys thought about this week's episode. I thought it was good overall though. So it was giving, not like last week. And at the end of the day, it's way better than last season. So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we were even covering last season's, but it's really good. But let us know what you guys think. And we hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to leave us a nice review after you listen to our episodes. It's super helpful when you do that on Apple Podcasts. If there's some feedback, that's fine, but still give us a 5-star. Bye. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.